Good morning, welcome everybody to my live stream here on Twitch and my favorite chess site, lichess.org. My name is International Master Ponda. No, I'm just kidding. My name is William Paschall. I'm an International Master from the United States who lives in Europe at the moment in Budapest, Hungary. This is my good friend, the Ponda. Where are you, Ponda? Hey. What's up, guys? Ready to get started. We're going to be playing some Blitz and Rapid Chess here today, guys. If you'd like to challenge, it's 5+3 through 7+3 time control. One of those time controls in between. Merle Dixon. What is up, man? You're not here, but you did donate last stream. I want to thank you guys for that donated on the channel stream. We've got a new week ahead of us, so all that is erased from the list at the top of the screen. So I still want to thank those who donated last week. I also had a donation from Tushar via PayPal. I want to thank him for that, for supporting the stream here. Very kind of you guys to support us while we try to stream some good chess here. And where's my moderator today? He's beat me the last 2 times. There he is now. All right. Want to have a talk with you, man. It's not nice. It's not nice to beat me, and I'm not happy about it. Okay. Showing me up, playing well. All right, Soltigo. I was a nice guy until now, but we're really pissed at this point. You're not allowed to beat me, okay? What is up, Soltigo? Rating with a party of 9. I guess he just finished his stream. Good to see you guys. And we've got a challenge, our first challenge of today. Nils. So, what am I thinking? Alright, Nils is challenging 5+3. I'm just still waking up, guys. We had the simul yesterday. 21 players. So, of course, there's always someone who doesn't actually like make any moves or something like that. I am going to take the subscribers first. Nils is a subscriber. I don't think Baleful is a subscriber. He's been faithful here. Yeah, JCS, what's up? I guess you're watching Soltigo. Yeah, I'm really pissed now. It's like once you beat me, I thought, haha, it's a funny joke, you know. Like it's usually like not a big deal. But if you beat me twice in a row, then I start to get really angry. All right. So we're usually taking the subscriber challenges here. Chicken in the oven. I got home from work, put chicken in the oven. What time zone? You're really in Croatia? Morning chicken. All right. The morning chicken is in the oven. We've got Nils up first. I hope I'm awake for this encounter. I have an interesting game with Nils. It's a simul. It's a correspondence game. It seems pretty balanced against Nils. I played the kind of sideline in Grunfeld defense. All right. I'm not going to play the Dutch again after yesterday. I was unsure. It did feel very bad for me. I resigned against one of my opponents in a non-lost position. The Dutch game in particular. All right. So I also lost a really bad game out of the opening in Nimzo against the German guy, for lack of a better name. I can't remember. Hans. No. It started with an H. Hagen something. So some of our openings were a little sketchy. Our black side of the Dutch, the black side of the Nimzo. I made some kind of terrible mistake. Knight F3 here. I don't know what Nils is up to. Is everyone pissing me off these days? You should be at work, Nefedov. What's up, man? Simuls make me stressed out. Alright. Nefedov, who I try to play an opening I don't normally play, and I get punished. G3. So it's in English, which is, yeah, this variation is particularly solid for white. Alright, we try something different here. I had a hard time coming up with a recommendation about this variation when I did the video on the Blumenfeld. Because, I mean, basically the theory is expansive. I mean, this is an English symmetrical. There's just massive amounts of theory. You know, when you recommend something, if you recommend a main line, you're basically, you gotta teach them how to play like against the entire English opening here. If we're gonna go into the main line here after c takes d4, knight takes d4, this is like, there must be like 20,000 games in the database from this position, at least. It wasn't 30 games though. It was just 21 really yesterday. Someone else said 30 games, but it wasn't the case. Bishop g2. I'm trying something kind of funky here. Working all morning, and then we need a chicken to kind of relax. I'm having some pizza for breakfast. I couldn't decide between pizza or chicken. Alright, so now what's the plan? There's two ways to play this. We can play it like a Tarash, or we can play it like a hedgehog. I was just thinking like it might have been inherently logical to play knight c6, but then again he could play knight b5 there. Pizza is always the best choice. There was somebody who challenged me the other day called Pizza in Winter, which I thought was a strange name, but I don't know why. Just seems like a strange name. What does the season of the year have to do with eating pizza or not? You know, I was kind of like, it was a high-rated guy. It's a new account, like 2,500 here on lichess. I was like, Pizza in Winter? You know, it's not like watermelon that you eat only in like one season of the year or something. Does pizza have something to do with what time of year it is? That's just strange. Was thinking about knight c6, which is not really the typical hedgehog type of plan. But on the other hand, how do I plan on getting my pieces out if I don't do that? Yes, this is a little problem. This is a little problem. Rook a7, notably kind of artificial here. So if you want to play the hedgehog, you need to have the diagonal clear so you can play b6. White is better now. I'm just going to drift into a passive position. I did make him play a3 and b3, which seems to weaken his queenside a bit, but I'm talking too much. Oh, but I have d5 now. Okay. The virtues of Queen c7. You know, there is cold pizza, right? Warm sushi. Oh, that's gross. Alright, let's get it on. Soltico, how was your stream today? Melamudu with the delayed d5. It took me a while to find it too. I was like, I don't like this position. He's played e3 and a3, so there's a couple moves that you probably wouldn't ideally include here. Honestly, I don't know if I want your stinking pawn. That's materialistic, and it's not going anywhere, so it's not even on the menu at this point. Play rook c1. still I have to be careful here. Blockade. Yes. I like his blockading idea. I'm not a materialistic guy. A lot of people would have played knight b6 there. And they would have been right. No, I don't know. Because I can't play b6. The problem is, if I play like knight b6, knight takes c4, I can't play b5 to support my knight on c4. Because my stupid rook is hanging. That's the problem with fianchetto English symmetrical. That bishop is like the Catalan. I mean, it dominates the diagonal. And when white has control of that, he's always better. Or she. He or she is always better when they really dominate that diagonal. Clearance. Alright, now we've got things under control for now. We analyzed some interesting games from viewers. Constructive. Okay. Here it comes. We're drifting a little passive here. But like nothing's really too bad with my pieces, at least. My knight is bad, but we can live with one bad piece. Alright, we need to react a little more quickly. I'm still half awake. He's got queen h5, that's not a problem. Okay, I don't see a direct attack. Knight e8 also protects g7. So we're pretty solid here. But his pieces are difficult to get rid of. If I take on e5, he has nasty looking discoveries. So I really need some sort of plan right about now. Just play moves without a clear plan. Good idea. Knight on e8 has nowhere to go. Knight g7. g6, knight g7, not very appetizing, actually. I mean, the knight on d4 is like immovable, an immovable object. Bishop takes h7 check. Most people do fianchetto there, or fianchetto if you prefer. Their white square bishop in the symmetrical English. Pretty fundamental idea. Alright, what's he doing with the retreat there? Quite sure. Just making moves. This exchange is very beneficial, although it will give him a good square for his it would give him a good square for his knight, actually. So maybe I don't really want to do that. b5 almost works. What am I talking about? Alright, never mind. I'm content with equality here. I think objectively the position is equal. And this knight is kind of ill-in. I'm not sure this is even a good move. But his bishop is worse than our bishop. Should I check first? Having trouble deciding. I have knight c7 if I have to. Finally a square. Pretty good game for the first game of the day. The non-existent knight. Pepelu is auto-hosting for 3 viewers. Thank you guys for the hosts. The hostess with the mostess. Good bishop, bad bishop. Should I play f5 if given the chance here? Might not be a bad idea. A little air, please. Oh my god, you just allowed me to 4. You didn't just play king g2, did you? You did that? I let you get away with it? That's embarrassing. That was embarrassing. I didn't play knight f4 check double discovered check, winning a queen. Because I want to give him a chance. I hope this is safe, weakening my king side a little bit here. Now even g5 looks interesting. Oh my god. There's mate. This isn't that easy though. He's got a nasty check on a8. I might regret this. Live to regret this. At least I hopefully I'm not worse. Yeah, he's just pretty much melting down. Okay, kind of lucky win. I mean, I wasn't really better through most of the game. What are you guys talking about? Queen h1 mate? I know what was good though. Knight f4 check. But truthfully, I thought like the position out of the middle game, at the end of the middle game with my knight on e8, this is like equal. He actually has more space. Let's see what Stockfish says. My knight on e8 is pretty bad here. It's calling it at equal. Dynamic equality. Now it's giving me a small advantage, but not that easy to play. Okay guys, welcome to the stream. I'm not going to go into great analysis. We'll try to play more games. Got a lot of players who aren't subscribers. Fridays I'm doing the stream where I'm not taking the subscribers first, guys. Just to keep that in mind. Actually, oddly enough, I have only Testosterone at the moment, who is an actual subscriber right now. Knight f4. Oh, no queen h1 check. Is it? Oh, is his only move? No, I mean if knight f4 check, he has king g1. I mean there's no way I can force him to play king, you know, king f1 and get mated in one. I mean, where is his queen? It's on like e2, right? You mean queen g2 mate? Queen g2 mate. It's the wrong square. I know everything about that mate I didn't see, you know. Alright, testosterone. At that point, I had basically made a pre-move, which I rarely do. But I had just made up my mind I was going to play the move, and just did it anyway. Like, just assuming like no one in their right mind would ever play King G2. Alright, testosterone. Let's play the Alyakin's defense. If King F1, there's Queen H1 mate. That's true. I mean, somebody who puts their king on G2 might very well play King F1 the next move. They might as well just end it. You can take your choice of mates there. Queen G2 or, yeah. Winning his queen would be enough, though. I think I might go for that. Just kind of torture him up a queen for a bishop. So, Alyakin's defense. Yeah, this is tough to play. The dynamic move CD seems to have some problems for black. So I don't even bother playing that anymore. Originally, you know, that's what black was supposed to play. I mean, it's taking toward the center. It makes sense. Even Shabalov's like D5 that he played against me. Just to go D5 right away for white. You know, emphasizes like white's strategic advantage. Maybe black can equalize there, but I'm not sure. Seems standard. Yeah. It's boring to play symmetrical structures, and that's why I don't like this variation. Guys, we're streaming 6 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday evenings. Let me see here. So I should castle. Knight c6 is playable as well, but it doesn't really do anything. I like when there's dynamics with the pawns in positions. That's why I'm not attracted to symmetrical structures. If you really like pawn play, it feels like something's missing from this game. Let's try something a little different. I don't think I've ever attempted this, but supporting d5 with the pawns might be playable for black. Normally you'd play like knight c6 or something like that. For example, he can play queen c2 here, weakening my king side. Though it's not really a great square for the white queen, I would think. There's also the small chance we could play maybe knight a6, knight c7. He just took my advice. g6 weakens my king side more, but it could prepare for a fianchetto. It happens in the GF Caro too. Obviously bishop h6, rook e8. Looks like it's like open season on my king. f4, f5 could happen. Maybe I'll have to play f5 myself. It's alright though. You know, for example, he could sack a piece on g6, then try to sack another one. He just wouldn't take the second one or something like that. Thank you for the donation. The bit donation, Nils. Turkey Farm was looking at queen c2 anyway. I mean, this is kind of, you know, it's kind of a limited location for the queen. Actually, when you think about it, your queen has a good diagonal where it originally is on d1. A pretty good diagonal, and it's early to move the queen. It was just an offhand suggestion, really. Well, I think g6 is a more constructive move than h6. And what I don't like is something like h6, knight g3, when he's just going to plop a knight on f5, and I'm basically going to have to trade a bishop for it. I thought with g6, the important thing is I contain this knight, you know, from coming to these annoying squares like h5 and f5. But no one's going to argue that black is better here. You have a basically boring, symmetrical French, or rather exchange French position, where neither side is significantly better. But if you have to choose a side, I mean, it seems like white should have a little more chances with the slightly less weakened king. Need to get the pieces out. I wouldn't want to play Fabiano or like one of those 2780 guys in this position. Just a thankless task. White's pieces are really well placed. But again, it's just an indication of how limiting this structure really is. You know, look how White's pieces are so much more actively placed. And there's, wow, b4. That's kind of random. Almost makes me want to play on the other side. Now what do I do? Okay, my knight is on b6. It's pretty redundant. Actually, a4 would be a lot scarier than b4. Maybe he just wants to play c5, supported by a pawn. Yeah. I was thinking knight g4 at some point, but it doesn't do anything. I practically have to play a5 now. Okay, this piece is totally misplaced here. Testosterone. Playing this pretty well, dude. You like black because everything is safe and solid. Man, passive is not where it's at, though. There's only like one situation when it's good to be passive, and that's when you have an extremely reckless and weak opponent. I mean, it's almost never good. H3 is a good prophylactic move. Nils gets on the board with a 100-bit donation. Thank you for that. Who is this subscriber in the yellow? Scoble. Funny game yesterday, Scoble. You scared me, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess you were always losing, but I easily could have lost that game. I was thinking I might be in serious trouble. I was on the verge of sacrificing my queen. I mean, testosterone is scary for somebody who's rated like 1700 lichess, dude. He's 1600 in Blitz. He's extremely scary. Like, he plays super aggressively. I gotta play it like it's a queen's gambit, basically. Chess is scary. Then what am I going to do? I mean, at the end of the day here, maybe bishop f8 to trade pieces. I was going to play knight g7, but then he plays knight g4, or sorry, g4, just stifling me on both sides of the board. Yeah, I thought you were okay too, Nils. I mean, it looks like an equal position to me. Well, I don't know. I mean, the queen and knight combination is kind of difficult to play, actually. That ending. Mr. Queenside. It's like the worst position ever for me. Like passive with no play at all. Now he goes knight g3, just totally, you know, like laissez-faire. It's just absolutely standard. Smothering me with no space. Testosterone. Dude, you're like one of the most underrated players here, man. I don't understand why you haven't beat me more games. Yesterday everybody was wailing on me. Now I gotta go back. must just be the time is the downfall of testosterone, because he plays like he's an expert. This has been a masterful game. White is going to be like better the entire game in analysis board mode after the game. I can't even think of what to do. I'm just like groveling. I should have played this plan like last move. Okay, maybe I can get to the g7 square if he tries to keep the bishop on with something like bishop e3 or bishop d2. I'll play bishop g7 with a good fianchetto. We just have less space. It's just absolutely... You thought I was underrated. Are you jealous? You're all underrated, okay? Okay. How do I recapture this? Sort of sucks. I'm going to take with the king. There's nothing that can get me right now at the moment on the dark squares, but this could be a very dangerous location for my king. Anyone who beats me is underrated. Anyone who subscribes. And anyone who makes a donation to the stream. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really think like that. Some people might. Man, dude. Testosterone is just scary. He's so controlled, you know? It's like a master. Look at the way he plays. Everything you know. What's the word I'm looking for? Methodology. Can you say methodological, right? And that is a mouthful. Does that even exist? Methodological? Methodical. I said methodological. I'm not normal, really. Alright, never mind. Look at this space, man. Spaceman seriously did that. That is methodological. A methodological madness. Methodically. Basically, give me bits to boost your confidence. I can't speak. What am I doing? Alright, I'm going to have to play rook b8. This is pretty gross. At least my pawns can be on the right color. With my lack of space. The only chance is to beat him on time. He's not going to make a mistake. How am I 25.5, 2.5 against someone who can just stuff me this bad spatially? This is just awful for black. Okay, now pawn takes. I think maybe I should play rook takes. Because either way it's going to be a problem. At least I can trade some pieces. Maybe try to draw an ending, a pawn down or something. Optimistic. If I lose the pawn, I mean, I really don't want to play knight d7 to defend the b6 square. Notice how all of his stuff is protected. You see, that's the thing that's like very disturbing. That's how masters play, basically. They keep all of their stuff protected at all times. Maybe I ought to take on b5. The point was to trade stuff anyway. Now we have a glimmer of hope. Maybe I'm not worse. Though I don't know, my knight's not protected. I'm the only one with an unprotected piece here. All of his stuff is protected, literally. I'm a little concerned about queen b8. I was looking at queen g5, but I may have bigger problems. He like pre-moved that. He's 1600 in Blitz. I have had no chance in this game to have any kind of advantage, even theoretically. No reason for this cheer, Soltiga. You're not trying to get my attention. Thank you guys for donating. It's not really a donation exactly. Now he's got a strong passer too. I thought, oh, he's just trying to liquidate stuff. I need to immobilize that pawn as best I can. Maybe rook d1, get behind the pawn? It wasn't enough for him to have a draw with like bishop takes a6. He's playing for a win with like no time left. Alright. Well, if he loses, it's not my fault. He's 1600 in Blitz. Damn, dude. That's a strong 1600. It's all I can do to not be worse. No, he didn't take the pawn. It's actually pretty fast, too. Can't really protect it anyway. Like, he doesn't take it, and he's still not worse. There's something not fair about that. You have a chance to take the pawn, you don't take it, and now you hang a piece. This is how I win the game? Like, he played great the entire game, then drops a piece at the end because he's trying to move fast. Alright, that was really satisfying. Dude, seriously, I think you're better the entire game until the last moment when you dropped a piece. Probably. You could just equalize. You were only equal there. Why not bishop takes a6? Okay, then I missed something. Because I don't understand this. Oh, not this move. Yeah, okay. You were worse now when you played this move. Where's the rook? Yeah, now he played here, here. Oh, I guess I was hallucinating. Okay. I was hallucinating he was still on a6 at this point. 95. Yeah. But rook a1. Rook a8. I can try to hang on to the pawn. Okay, it's too late now. So the computer says that he was equal or better until this moment, right? When I thought it should be a draw, and then he didn't want it. But I don't understand why you don't take this pawn, man. Like, you're just trying to win. This is greedy, trying to win. And I missed 95. No, I saw it. Okay. So you only lost because you were greedy and you didn't want to draw. Pretty impressive. All right. Scoble's up next. We got a subscriber in there. Really interesting yesterday, Scoble. It looks like that's been played by some decent players. That crazy Budapest with 94. Fajarowicz variation. Acerby, what happened yesterday, man? We missed you at the simul. I know you showed up at the last minute when I was shutting down the simul. Or maybe you had been there longer. I just didn't notice you. Good to see you back here. I'm black now. I played the Caro-Kann that first time. What does Scoble do? I mean, against C5, I guess he must play like the Smith-Morra or something. I can't wait to find out. There it is. You didn't even see the pawn. Man, that was a solid effort. I don't want to play against players like in that variation. Actually, I don't like it for either side, to be honest. That exchange Aliekin's defense. I used to play the exchange variation with white, but when people started to play E takes D, I also don't want to play it with white as well. I mean, it's just tedious, you know. I think that people should try to play like the main line with knight f3 against Aliekin's. I mean, there's other interesting stuff like Nefedov plays the f4. There's c5, which is a really cool variation. A lot of aggressive stuff you can do. So Scoble plays the Morra, which is not a surprise because he's a gambit player. Used to be like the Smith-Morra was the move that you'd see more than anything here on lichess. Lately, not quite as much. Haven't seen it much. It's tough to adjust to the Hungarian streaming schedule, guys. I know. Acerbate from American time. I'm gonna be here in Hungary until mid-October. Then we're gonna be switching back to an American-based, a US-based stream time. We got a good 5.5 weeks till that, though. Most people play the C takes D variation. Yeah, which is good for white. Where's my coffee? I lost my coffee. That's why I'm so sleepy. But I feel like... Okay, I'm playing a lot of different openings that I'm not expert in. Hey guys, I just want to give you an announcement. This week we'll have our viewer tournament on Tuesday, and it'll be another Blitz tournament. So Blitz with increment on Tuesday, 5+2 casual, 6:30 EDT or CEST. Okay, 6:30 European time on Tuesday night, tomorrow night, viewer tournament. Bye-bye. Alright. The Puppeteer. Nils says, how does Scoble always have a lead in development? Dude, that's the idea. He always has a lead in development, but he always has a material deficit. So nothing is free. I was sad you missed it. Rooting for Acerbate is my favorite part of the Sunday Simul. This is according to JCS. Fish, rat, cow. He's being rooted for by other animals now. No. What are you talking about, Acerbate? That's around this time. Tomorrow is the evening. 6:30. I'm sorry, maybe you got confused by Ponda, who got the time zones messed up when he did his announcement at first. At first he started to say EDT because we're used to the United States time, but what he meant to say was European time, and so it's 6:30 tomorrow night. Your score against Scoble is like 160-50 in his favor. Well, I mean, he probably just has. Don't feel bad. I think he probably just has more experience than you. Experience goes a long way, Nils. I mean, many of the people that you're playing here on lichess have literally played tens of thousands of games, which you probably have far less. And I mean, it's got to count for something. You could be the biggest genius in the world, but I mean, you're not going to like just take out people, that have been devoting, 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 years to the game overnight. He seems like a legitimately dangerous player, Skobelov. But I told the story about the little kid in my town. He was it was a weird relationship we had. We were like arch enemies and friends at various points. This kid Michael. It's funny how it gets like that. It's like one extreme or the other, your relationship with someone. I was the same way with Roman. We were friends and we were enemies in the same 5-year span. Rook d1, e6. With white he's 2000, with black he's 1700. Well, it's harder to play the gambit stuff. Yesterday he almost killed me with that crazy piece sacrifice. I mean, I'm lucky I didn't blunder there. Lev Millman did something like this against me. Of course, his queen wasn't on e2. I think like right away. I think Lev actually played bishop e3. If I remember correctly. One of many different moves that white can play in this position. I've got to keep an eye on the b6 square. Lev Millman is a talented kid who basically quit chess to go to college, and I think he's probably in the real world now. The real world, because we don't live in the real world here in chess land. Did you ever have a job? Is Queen E2 crap here? Basically, Bob. But don't tell anybody about that. We don't want Scoble to get the right idea. Yeah, basically Queen E2 is the whole reason why I play this system. Turkey Farm has confirmed he's played 20,000 games. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't want to know how many I've played over the years. But I'm not crazy with the bullet chess. So I don't count that. I've probably played like... I'm curious how many tournament games I played in my 30-year career. Probably in the neighborhood of like 2,000. Let's say I averaged... Well, if I averaged 50 games a year, it would only be 15,000. I mean 1,500. But I think I had down years, especially lately, so... But I had up years where I was playing like 100 games a year. So if you did the average, yeah. There was a period where I was playing a lot, though. I was really seriously playing like 100 games a year, at least, for like 20 years. I have to be around I mean, maybe not, but I don't know. I have to be around 2,000 tournament games. $2,000 tournament games, 100,000 Blitz games, at least. I thought you were aiming for that square. It's probably not a big deal, though. I mean, I could play anything. Knight d7. I could have taken the pawn. I really couldn't, though, because of bishop e6. That's a funny trick. I didn't even consider it. I'm just concerned about controlling the square. I'm up a pawn already, so I try not to be materialistic. But it's a nice trap. Have I ever played in the U.S. Championship? Do you mean the Championship of St. Louis? Or the U.S. Championship? Sorry, just to dig it at the billionaire. H3, really ought to take this. I'm never been to St. Louis. Never want to. I have a friend who got a job there, a person who you would never ever expect. Working for the billionaire. But I don't know if he's still there or not. The white squares look kind of caving in here. No, I played in 2 U.S. championships in my prime. When it wasn't a billionaire dominated. I wouldn't want to live there, Bob. Knight c3. All right. I mean, Budapest has its problems too, but I don't want to. I don't want to support a authoritarian chess sponsor. The Foxwoods Open. Are you looking at my like life results? Asteroid is checking my lifetime scores. Those bishops. This one is the one that really bugs me, actually. He got more out of this than I should have let him. They're like laser beams, these two bishops. White has like full compensation here. Tricky how that happened. 1 minute I was like, oh, he's just playing this badly. And the next minute, here we are. Two US championships. The first one I did well. I had an excellent tournament. This was in like 2001. I was in the peak form and I played like 6 or 7 GMs. And I think I scored 50%. Losing to Dimitri Schneider in the last round, he was like, it was ridiculous. My last round game ruined my tournament and I finished with 50%. And then the other one, I didn't do as well. I still made 50%. But I didn't play as strong a field. Alright. That was a long time ago now. We gotta get some play here. I'm very concerned that I'm at least losing my pawn back. I could sack an exchange. It seems a little excessive. Like bishop h6, g6, bishop takes f8, just allowing that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go there, though. I have very little knowledge of the Midwest, but I do have relatives out there. Never met them. They're like hillbillies. No, I'm just kidding. They're not. They're not. I'm sure they're good. The Midwest is not where the hillbillies live, right? I have relatives from all over. Bishop g5. The hillbilly attack. The only place in the Midwest I've ever been is basically Chicago, which is sort of like the East Coast anyway. All right. Scoble, what's up? You have any tactics for me? I hope not. Obviously. He's trying for something here tactically. Yeah, this doesn't work. He does have a tactic for me. Okay, that's disturbing. I have to take here. Now he has the in-between move. Rook takes d6. I hope I don't drop something. It doesn't look good. I screwed this up. I guess I can play bishop takes f4. Sort of a ridiculous move. How does that even work? I'm not trying to diss anybody. I'm just kidding you. Can I go to this square? Do I have to? Why would I voluntarily put my queen on that square? when I have better options. Oh no. No! Now I have to play with 3 pawns for a piece. Oh, come on. He had a strong move. He had queen d2 double attack there. It's in panic mode. Man, do I like meat chops? Yes. All right. Was he ever... I think he had full compensation at one point. Was he ever better? Probably not. Apparently he was at the end when I blundered queen d2. Yeah. Here I would have had to have 3 pawns for the piece. Excuse me. This would have been a mess. That was his one golden opportunity. The engine's calling that slightly better for white. Other than that, I was doing good. All right, Baleful Badfish. I'm looking for subscribers to play them first. If no one is here, I will. Dude, I don't play bullet chess, so I'll play Baleful next. Yeah, back in the days when the United States Chess Federation was like democratic and had the U.S. championship, and it wasn't controlled by a dictator. All right, I did play in 2 U.S. championships. That was cool in Seattle. Really nice place. I loved Seattle. Baleful is up. Quorum86 says, struggle against playing very defensive black players. Well, the stronger players are going to be seemingly better. I mean, they're going to be better at defense, period. You know, it's one thing, I don't know. I don't know when we talk about defensive players, per se. What do we do against this bishop c4? Bishop g7, queen f3 is kind of justified. So is there any other option, really? My radical politics influenced him in other areas, including chess. Extremely political person. It's all I can think about. I just believe in democracy. Bob, nothing extreme. Bishop c4, knight c6, c3. Marxism's making a comeback. It's been a while since I studied economics. But seriously, we try to keep the politics out of the stream. But if it's directly related to chess, like, you know, St. Louis or whatever, I talk about it. You know, you can't really ignore the elephant in the room. The corruption of the World Chess Federation, you know, is another thing that we chat about sometimes. I was just saying, like, how ridiculous yesterday. I was saying how ridiculous the World Junior Championship is. It's like, the person who wins the World Junior, it's such a serious tournament, they're supposed to get the Grandmaster title, right? And think about it now, speaking of democracy, but basically it's a World Junior Championship, so I always thought like there was supposed to be like one representative from every country, you know, all over the world, and then they have a tournament, and like the winner becomes a grandmaster automatically, which is, by the way, like there's only like two ways you can really do that. I mean, winning the world junior, winning the world senior. But the world junior, I checked the list, and it was being held in Turkey, which is fine wherever. Although there's an awful lot of like every single junior tournament seems to be held in Turkey in the last 10 years, which is strange. But there's like 30 entrants from Turkey and like 12 entrants from India and like one or two entrants from every other country in the world. And I was thinking like that makes the odds that a Turkish world junior champion will appear like significantly higher. They're at a little bit of an advantage. I know that it's the host country, but normally you get like, you know, when you're the host country, you get like two players, not like 30. So that kind of thing, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Here, I guess I should play knight f6. But seriously, like, that was the way it always worked. Like, you had to win the U.S. Junior, and then you would be chosen as the guy who goes to represent, like, the World Junior, the United States in the World Junior. Now there's two American players playing. You know, I didn't understand how you get two competing in the same World Junior. I'm not quite sure how that works. But the countries that have 12 or 30, I'm just shaking my head. Like, how does this work? You know, what kind of World Junior is that where one country has 30 players representing? It seems a little strange. It's not the World Junior that I ever heard of. India randomly has like 12 players. Like, nothing against India, but how do you have the right to have like 12 players and everyone else has like one or two? I mean, that doesn't make sense. It's just totally corrupt. The World Chess Federation is totally corrupt. The U.S. Chess Federation is incompetent. I mean, most chess federations and sporting organizations are, by nature, totally either incompetent or corrupt, like governments. Try to fight back against that a little bit, at least, by espousing our cynical views here. Does China get 12 players? I didn't notice. No, I think they have an actual qualification process where they have a limited amount of... They probably have like 2 or something like the United States. Maybe it's population based. Obviously, Turkey is the most populous country in the world. The host country. But it's stupid, man. I mean, they're just filling up the tournament with players, and they make it... And it's just stupid. That's the kind of tournament that FIDE organizes. Alright, what are we doing here? This is a lot like our game with Morwa yesterday, where he traded his bishop on f6 early. I thought that was terrible. If anybody watched my simul yesterday, had a similar structure in one game where my opponent here just took, not Baleful, a different player, he took on f6. But I don't like it. I guess you could make an argument for the fact that, oh, well, I have a bad bishop. You know, you're leaving me with the bad bishop. And it's, you know, it's somewhat valid, but my bad bishop comes back into the game. I think it was Emanuel Lasker who said that the pieces that are blocked in tend to come out very actively later. I don't know his exact words, but that was the point. Is Kirsan seriously a billionaire? Okay, you know, he's like a wealthy dictator, but he's been deposed temporarily. I don't think he's a billionaire. I hope not. That's kind of frightening. But again, a billionaire isn't what it used to be with inflation. You got to get out of this pin somehow. Baleful has played this really well. Looks optimal. So this queen move has a lot of different points. It steps out of possible pins with bishop g4. Peter Thiel is the founder of PayPal. Is that the guy? Thiel, I guess you say. Again, I'm terrible with pronunciations. He's the PayPal guy, right? I mean, I feel really bad about criticizing Sinkfeld, but it's getting kind of ridiculous now. When was the last time he hosted, like, the World Junior Championship, by the way? Oh, I forgot you can't have the World Junior in, like, a Western country. Totally slipped my mind. We can only have tournaments in, like, 3 or 4 different countries. And junior tournaments are only allowed to be held in Turkey. Alright. I feel kind of bad about using PayPal now. I feel dirty. But he sold it. Bob, don't make up fake news now. See, that's the problem with disinformation, Bob. You start making up things like I'm dead, Sinkfield is, you know, you're turning into Elon Musk now. You can't just make random accusations. People might believe it. No, I mean, I think the guy's just self-centered, and why name the tournament after yourself, by the way? Like you're alive. Alright. This egomaniac style. Let's go with knight h5. I'm not really into these race-style Kings Indians, but you didn't make up the dead rumor. You just helped promote it. You're just as guilty. Sadly, c6 is not on the table. I guess I can consider going back to e8 to d8, as strange as that might seem here. May not be a bad move. I'm not going to trade this bishop. That's a beauty. Part of me wanted to play bishop d7, but then we realized if nothing else, I can play like bishop f6 next move, unless he stops it. Alright guys, tomorrow we're having a viewer tournament. It'll be 5+2. The Panda already announced this. Queen d8 is a great move, thank you. Well, there's only like 3 moves. One of them loses by force. The other one's positionally bad. That leaves us with this one. I just did. No more bad bishop. Now white just has a space advantage. How do you think he got to be a billionaire? It's like... Alright. I just love busting on billionaires. Yes, I'm jealous. Time pressure kind of annoying here. White's arguably better. But we're not talking about a big advantage. Bishop f6 was a move that I started using years ago on the black side of the Tory attack. No one else played that. I basically invented it myself. I was doing it when no one else had even considered it. Because I know that's the worst piece in the King's Indian. My dad is a rich capitalist. I wish. You're talking to... Who are you talking to? Not talking to me, man. Alright. Put too much stress on myself. What about g5? Of course, g5. Gotta weaken my king side. Would I be doing this if my dad was a rich capitalist? Alright. You mentioned before my family was well established in failure. Yeah, but they lost all their money due to the Depression. Had to rebuild everything. That was pre-depression, Bob. But I have tons of relatives who may be well-to-do. And you missed f4 there? Baleful, you gotta play this move. I mean, this is the move. It's gotta be f4. I hate playing the black side of this race, King's Indian, Mar del Plata type of thing. I like to play when there's more play, more openness. I'm always complaining about symmetrical structures, closed positions. You gotta play exactly like I want you to play. Or I'll complain. No, seriously, Bob. My family was devastated by the Depression. They lost, like, everything. Almost everything. My direct family, anyway. But I'm just saying that my family name was well established in Philadelphia. Yeah, regionally. But, like most of the country. I remember you were annoyed with my bayonet attack, though. Well, I mean, the thing is, Nils, when you first played, you know, I didn't know what I was up against, but I don't play that, you know. I gave up playing the black side of that Mar del Plata pretty much, like, within the first couple of years that I started playing the King's Indian. Because it's just too, like, knowledge-intensive and very one-dimensional. I mean, it's fun, but... Big mistake to play bishop g4 here, for example. The Paschall neighborhood is depressed itself. Oh, right, so you realize there's a street named after my name. My dad wouldn't even walk down the street named after him. Like, I think he was afraid. He used to work in Philadelphia a lot, and he was afraid to go into his own neighborhood, man. Paschall Avenue is a... I don't know how it is now, but at least it was a pretty bad neighborhood. Pretty depressed. A lot of people don't know that I have a street named after me. Ugh. Alright. Go on to the file. Black's better now. We can win a piece for 2 pawns. Take it. I'm feeling lazy. I'm basically only beating you guys on the time factor at the end of the games after 10 struggles. Same thing with several of my other opponents here. What's crazy, Turkey Farm? Been looking at the BOGO, and it seems would often allow an improved King's Indian defense without the King's Bishop. Yeah, that's true. That is true, sir. What am I planning here? King G5. Yes. That takes away your knight's best square. I guess that's some compensation. Oh, I was hoping for knight h4. Oh, dude, what are you doing? He's trying to beat me on time. You're supposed to just resign. Alright, you seriously want to play for time? Ah. Do I have lag or something? I think I must have lag. How else could you explain this weird time situation? Sometimes the OBS gives me lag. Well, it wasn't really his neighborhood, Turkey Farm. I'm just joking, you know. But it was named after our family. Alright. He used to take a baseball bat with him to work. This is no lie. He kept a baseball bat in the car. Serious story. Alright. Rook takes h2. Who's up next? The Badfish, Arsenal 2, Bombast, Mershad, Haggard, Aspirante, Chess Noob, Masterminds, Kante. So, no subscribers. All the scribers are sleeping. Bob used to keep a baseball. See, he knows the area. Okay, that was the 80s, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my dad might have done the same thing. He may have had other baseball gear to make it look legit too. Because if they found just a baseball bat, yeah, you could get in trouble for that. They know what's up, man. All right. Prescribers. Just the scribers. All right, Badfish is a fellow streamer here. We haven't played too many games, so I don't intimately know his style too well. We'll play our boring stuff. Another King's Indian. Alright, so b6. This is an unusual move. Actually, I see it more often like one move later, but it's funny. There isn't really anything special one can do against this. If I play c4, then he'll play e6. I guess there's really literally no refutation of the strange early b6 that I can imagine. We just have to transpose to a kind of Catalan. I could play c4 right away, then he should strengthen his center with e6. And that's it. You know, it'll just transpose to a kind of Catalan. Thank you guys for supporting the stream with donations today. Very generous. Nils with 200, Soltiga with 100, Scoble with 100. Tough Simul yesterday. The median home value of $65,000. What, Bob? On Paschall Avenue? Are you serious? On my street, the median home value is $65,000? That might be alright if it was like a village in Hungary or something. We're all here for the Ponda. Hey, what's up, guys? Do you take a baseball bat to work with you? If not, it might be a good idea. No, I'm just kidding. The good old 80s. Crime was a bit more rampant. The media would have you believe otherwise. It's just now. There was no crime before modern times. Alright, I'm having hallucinations, actually, that he can play d4 here. Yeah, right. Yeah, there's no need for baseball bats anymore. Everyone just has guns. That's old school. It was e5 that I was worried about, not... I see. Now I can play that. Okay, well anyway, this will be more fun. A little bit of hypermodernism here. We allowed e5. I didn't really mean to do it, but all I could do was d4, I guess. Okay, knight c3, d4 is a serious problem. But I can play cd and then knight c3, I guess. Releasing the tension is usually bad. We're just kind of messing around with random topics of conversation while we play here, guys. Don't take anything I say too seriously. Caution you that I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, we got in with knight b5, and that's probably a good thing. Now we have some sort of compensation for our spatial disadvantage. Rook e8, knight d6, chop chop. And we got the bishop pair at least. Anything else going on in the chess world? I mean, the Russian Super Final finished. That was a good tournament. Oh, I didn't even consider he could do this. I mean, it seems counterintuitive to self-pin, but I could even play knight takes e5. Knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, d4. Really, I don't see any reason why not. I am trading off a kingside defender. Might make my kingside more vulnerable to attack in the future or something like that. Oh my god, it's Anatoly Karpov. Now we know the secret. Oh no. Christensen Karpov. Okay, let's try not to panic. Do not panic. The most important thing you can remember from this stream. What is that? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? I can play knight c3. I didn't see this move at all, but I could still do knight c3. And then I just fork the pieces next move. But he has an improved version with a strong attack here, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Exactly what I was talking about. Like knight c3, queen takes e5, d4, queen h5 with attacking chances. It would be good if I remembered what the heck I was doing. Well, my knight is just hanging out absolutely just on prise, so there really aren't a lot of options. The property values in Philly are mind-boggling after looking at San Francisco Bay. Oh my god, dude. But I mean, there's no, technology companies and stuff like that. Yeah. So, I'm back in Budapest. Speaking of Budapest and property values and whatever, it was interesting. Yesterday I was reading the BBC website, and surprisingly there was an article that was like about the 5 most livable cities in the world. And okay, this is like someone's opinion. It's not like an official world survey or something, but I was surprised. Like Honolulu was number 1, and number 2 was Budapest. And I was like, wow, really? Budapest is cool, but I didn't think it would be picked out for this article. But the district that I live in, Kurt, are you in the 7th district as well? It's been really experiencing massive growth in terms of tourism and stuff. So, but not really like the street where I live. I live like on the ghetto side of my district. My street is like the beginning of the ghetto. You're moving to Berlin next month. All right. I joke that my street is basically the Hungarian ghetto. Not like the Jewish ghetto, but they have an actual Jewish ghetto. But I mean, like ghetto in American terms. All right. Found a senior developer job there. Awesome. Congratulations. Berlin is a cool city, man. Really cool. I played some poker up there at the European Poker Tour in 2015, I think. I really thought he should have taken the knight and played queen h5. Well, Berlin is a world. It's a much different city, massively cosmopolitan. It's not even really it doesn't feel like Germany. It just feels like this super international city. Okay, but I'm not an authority on anything, basically. I just pretend to know stuff. That bishop on b7 just ready to spring out at any moment. Did I make a bad move? You've never been there. Wow, you took a job there, you've never been there. That's crazy. But I guess you're not the first person to do such a thing. Maybe I should play knight b5 back again. Seems kind of weird. Normally I'm kind of into developing my pieces. Oh, that's crazy. Chess Pats are whales. Yeah, I went to Russia in 1990. You know. But the Berlin Wall, man, that must have been insane. Well, you weren't there when it actually came down, but after. They just found like a chunk of it that was missing or something, like some extension of it. They didn't realize was there or something. I have like an original Soviet Army watch somewhere. Probably not worth very much though. No, Berlin seems like a cool place. It's a little overwhelming, kind of intimidating. In that respect, it reminds me of New York City. Not really reminds you of New York City, but in the intimidating nature of it. Okay, so we basically win a pawn, but his queen is very, very active. I'm just praying I didn't just drop something. I didn't even see my knight is attacked on b5. The Batfish is all about tactics, huh? Now we know a little bit more about him. You can't be sleepy against this guy. He'll sneak up on you. Okay, so I've got queen takes c5 going a pawn up. And then some rook c8 nonsense. I gotta stay in touch. Ooh, that's an incisive move. But again, we have weird options. Like knight c3. Knight c3. Okay, I have various moves. Queen c4 might be the most sensible of them. Where I basically go into an ending a pawn up. No, not a pawn up. That's the only problem. With that theory... Knight c3. Knight c3, knight c3. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making moves. Okay, he took that way. He wants to have a bad structure. Whew, that was close. There were definitely a lot of chances for both sides around there. We can get him in a technical position, maybe. He can't be good technically and this good tactically at the same time. He would be at least a master. Scaring me. He's up to 2097. The tactics were scary though. He still has compensation to some degree. Yeah, alright. I guess I just have to take this. Come on. He might hold on. He's only down a pawn here and he's active for it. So this could be very difficult for me to win. But on the other hand, I wouldn't want to be him facing Magnus in this kind of tactical ending. Uh-oh. Going after my pawn. Eh? You've got knight d3 at the end of the day? Yeah, it should be a draw, but we got to play this out. I don't like g6 to begin with for black here. He just trades down into a lost king and pawn game. Damn, dude. King centralization is the first principle of the endgame. Definitely want to take care of that before you do anything else. Is this some sort of trick? My God. He's got like g5 or something. He's fast and he's very strong tactically. So now king g7, g6, king h6 is some kind of perverted draw. I mean, his strength is amazing considering that his endgame is not very good. He doesn't have that much theoretical knowledge. It's amazing how strong the rest of his game is. If he just improved the endgame, he'd be like a master. That's kind of scary. It's hard to do that. I guess just playing a massive amount. Alright. So he just, yeah, it's a drawn endgame if you don't play g6 for starters there, by the way. g6 is a really, really bad move because it pins your king down on the back rank. I mean, here this is a theoretical draw. Actually, g6 engine even likes that second best. Well, I think I would just play h6 probably like the third best move for black, although you could just shuffle your rook on the back rank. Even this should be a draw. I had this position against Cyprian Nanu with black and I held it, but it wasn't fun. He tortured me forever. You're stuck in the minor piece endgame section. But it's unheard of, like 20 years ago, that anybody could play as well as you and go into that lost king and pawn endgame. Of course, he can't trade rooks, but even there was a trap. Did you see this, like toward the end? And there's ways I could have messed this up really easily. There was a nice trap here, where if I, let's see, here, in this position, if I, wait, I wanted to go king d6. I was afraid he has g5, though. But actually, it doesn't work, surprisingly. I'm actually winning here. I didn't calculate far enough. The engine didn't like my move now, king e4. Going back. What, this is a draw now? Oh, snap. So this is actually a draw. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, I was about to lose on time. The problem was I just saw this variation with king d6 and panicked because I thought g5 was a trick. Doesn't work. Because I have time to play takes, and then I'm just in time with my king, I guess. King e6. King e6, king g5, so I have to go king e5. And I'm able to get the opposition here, but I wasn't able to calculate that quickly. I would need more time, so my endgame sucks too. Alright, I have been studying my endgames lately. A lot of it's intuitive after all those years, but still. I mean, things like opposition I really need to calculate. Arsenal is best. Rely on calculation for the most part in the endgame. But of course you should know never to trade rooks. If it was like that 2 against 1 ending that we just saw there, you could definitely think about it. But the more pawns on the board in a king and pawn game, you know, the more likely it's like lost. Guys, we have like almost an hour left in the stream here today, so we should be able to play quite a few more games. I hate the London system with a passion. Yeah, Arsenal is best is not Arsenal fan. Took us a while to figure this out. The first game he played, he was actually a little similar to Arsenal fan. I was thinking the same thing. How's our lighting? Let me know if we get any kind of weird, glare from the window. I'm not watching the camera at the moment. Okay, so e3. Yesterday I lost terribly against Ayeste. Going into this old 9 that's not good for black. I want to correct myself. How many Bob Sakamanos there are on Twitch alone? Is hating the London a meme? Well, it should be. But thinking of those openings when people just overdo it, like everybody follows the trend, and then it gets to be really annoying. Like every other game, they're playing the same opening. But in the game yesterday against Ayeste in my simul, he had delayed knight f3. This is something totally different. It's no longer a normal, let's say, London system after bishop b5. It's some sort of hybrid. Just get our bishop outside the pawn chain. Do you think that there's other Bobs? There's other Newmans and Kramers too. Trading here a little early, perhaps. I could play bishop h5. That's more risky. I guess we can play queen b6. Essentially a strong double attack. Now what does he do? Queen d3? Or not? Could take with the queen as well. But he's traded his good bishop. He's got his bad bishop outside the pawn chain, so that's not too bad. But I don't think that white can lay claim to any advantage here. He might be slightly worse. There's a total of 30 Bobs. Bishop b4. Just developing with tempo. And I don't even know if this is a good move, honestly. It's probably a bad move. But I do develop the tempo. I guess it can't be that bad. We can try to take the pawn. It feels very, very, very greedy to play bishop takes d2 and queen takes b2. mean, knight e4, he just forces him to play c3, which is really what he'd like to do anyway. For example, bishop takes d2, bishop takes d2, queen takes b2, castles. Castles, rook b1 with compensation for the sacrificed pawn. Actually, my queen is getting trapped there. Finally, at the end, I do this move anyway. It's like, that's a stupid move. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that maybe I like inducing him to put his pawns on those dark squares, and then we'll actually just take and... This wasn't the move I expected. But here we really are just winning a pawn. You know, that's the difference between this and the other variation. He's also weakened his king side pretty badly here with h3, f3. I have not read the 4th edition of Silman's Reassess Your Chess, but the book always got good reviews, and I like to think of Silman as someone who's actually quite similar to me in principle and strength as well. So I never hesitate to, you know, I mean, I've seen parts of the original Reassess Your Chess, and I, you know, always thought of Jeremy as someone I could recommend. He seems to put a lot of thought into his books, not just because they're selling well. I mean, it seems like, you know, they're really legitimately good stuff. I gotta be careful here. This guy is kind of going crazy with the f4, f5. Wild with the h pawn and the f pawn advances. We could just blindly take the material, but I'd also like to play c5 at some point. This is not going anywhere. I mean, I just think of the position in terms of pawn structure. We had this one big island. I'm a believer. The power of the island. Island power. At the end of the day, I mean, his pawns are all over the map over here. You know, I mean, that's not really good. He's going to try to break through, though. With f5, it's too slow. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I mean, the problem with people like Arsenal's best, he's not that advanced yet. I mean, he's only around 1500. But his speed of play is like insanely fast. But I feel like it's a mistaken concept. You know, he's putting too much emphasis on moving fast, and not enough emphasis on just trying to play the best moves. You know, so you're actually making a lot of moves automatically without thinking. And chess is meant to be a thinking game. You got way too much time here to be making instant moves. It's just not good. Now it's just over. You know, particularly for lower rated players, you should put more emphasis on the trying to play the best move rather than trying to play fast. People get too addicted to playing bullet chess, and it's just a matter of creating a lot of bad habits, I would say, that are going to be hard to shake later on. Get the automatic rematch on. I wonder how much money Silman has made from his books. Well, you know, typical chess books, Bob, don't make much money at all, for the authors at least. That's one of the reasons why I was never really interested in writing chess books. But in the case of Silman, you know, the buyers from a lot of the major bookstores, I mean, one of the only authors you see if you go to, like, I don't know, whatever's left of a bookstore is like Barnes & Noble or something. You're fairly likely to see a Silman book. So I would think he's done better than most, you know. I mean, probably as good as anybody, which is really a tribute to the quality of what he's done, and also, you know, his ability to, like, market it and choose the right publishers or whatever. But Jeremy's been doing it for a long time. He's not like some guy who came along making videos in, like, 2008. I mean, Silman has been doing this since, like, the 80s, the late 80s or early 90s. And he's really focused on teaching chess. He basically quit playing in the early 90s and then started, you know, I don't know if he does anything outside of chess, but he's put a lot of effort into his promoting his stuff. A lot of work. All right, Bombas is up next. I don't see any other subscribers that I know of. Yeah, I guess I saw he wrote some articles on that other chess site, the gross one. But I guess he follows the money. You know, wherever there's the most money. It's hard to blame him. G3. But he writes nice articles for Chess Life and stuff. Never seen garbage out of Silman. Actually, well, there was once a book on the. Well, even that was good. No, everything he's done is good. I have to say. Quality chess writer. He came and played here in Budapest shortly before I came. Never really met Silman. He basically quit playing chess right around the time when I was getting really into it. We're about the same strength. He's obviously older. Here we go. Bombast. I forgot I'm playing Bombast. The master of time management. Bombast, don't do what Bombast does. He just tries to play for time. Above all else. This is not a good idea. Well, I mean, if you do bishop g4, turkey farm, I think the point would be to play bishop h5. Or maybe take the knight even. Well, I don't like that. Yeah, I mean, basically you're supposed to play bishop g4, bishop h5. But you're not supposed to go back the other way. Although it's actually not that bad for him. He just makes up random stuff and plays really fast. I don't mean to diss him, but I don't think... And I think he undermines... I don't like the fact that he undermines what I'm trying to teach people. You know, which is that playing fast without a plan just for time is the wrong thing to do. Basically, Bombast serves to strengthen the opposite argument, you know. I mean, that might be the case to some extent when you're talking about blitz with no increment. C5. Make me wonder. Yeah. Yeah, man. Wait, did I miss something? Have I tried any classical openings against Bombast? Well, I remember getting wailed on when I played like e4, e5 with black, but he played very strangely, like not castling, like a barbarian sort of thing. Played like a barbarian. Basically is a barbarian. Sorry if that sounds dismissive. He has a very, very strong score against me. I'm just trying to undermine his center. Of course black looks good here. He has more space. And he's strong enough to kind of back it up. But maybe not now. Maybe we can toast him with his king in the center. If we catch him with his king in the center, it's going to turn out to my advantage. The Bombarian. That's like Subtletiga. Good one. Good one, Subtletiga. That'll stick. I like that a lot, man. The Bombarian. Trading pieces. But he hasn't gotten out yet. Take with the e-pawn, Bomba. No, he's got no choice. Now, f4 could be a very, very strong move for me, but I think it doesn't quite cut the mustard. f4 is nice. You know, it's not bad. We have f4. But can we catch his king on the center outright? You know, with like knight takes d6 and queen b3. I think we can. Here's where we take a moment to think a little bit. Not allergic to thinking. Queen b3. Once again, f4 might be a good move. He just instantly moves without thinking. It's absolutely what you should do, guys. Absolutely. No brain, no pain. Takes, bishop a3, rook takes b3, bishop takes d6, I lose my center. I mean, I'm probably still fine there, but I don't know if I'm better. Takes an a4 might have been the best of all. Good suggestion. It didn't occur to me. Now it's too late. Well, hold up, what's wrong? Falkbeer, what? How to Achieve a Hopeless Position. That's my new book. Stinger says, nice catch stream that's not a simul. Yeah, well, we did the simul yesterday. I don't know if you're talking about that, but I do the simuls once a week on Sundays. I agree the fast-changing screen can be hard to follow, but I don't really do it, you know, because of its viewability. I mean, I just do the simuls for the basic principle of playing a simul, because I'm able to help, you know, and play 22 people at the same time or 30 people at the same time. As far as viewability goes, I mean, I think that, yeah, these Blitz streams are my most popular and also probably my favorite, personally. Stinger. Tying me down. I don't mean to sound like I'm bashing on people, you know, but my job here is to kind of be a critic. And I mean, that's the way I think of my own game. I try to improve my own game by criticizing myself as well. This is really an exceptional move, king d7, but he didn't have a lot of choices. It turns out to be quite strong. Or not. I guess those are not real book titles, Falkbeer. So, rook c8 is off the table, unless you want to lose the exchange. I don't know, I guess king d7 doesn't solve the problems, finally. Bombas has given me a lot of trouble. I've been making an effort to kind of keep him in check, literally. My score has improved. For a while, he was really hassling me. He has almost 50% overall. Nimzo, Queen's Gambit, Chigora, and Petrov's defense are somewhat strong. Chigora seems like kind of a weird choice in there. Okay, so what's this about? Rook b6 threatening rook a6? Did I miss the boat here? It's like I kind of missed the boat. He's such a good practical player in terms of speed. But he's not using his time and thinking deeply enough. No, it's no problem. I mean, yeah, I like to do this the simuls, but it's really stressful and hard for me too. So, go for the center. I wonder if this is a mistake. Probably. Probably a big mistake to play f4. It's a little loosening. I'm gonna have problems because of this. In principle, it's fine, you know, but tactically creates some issues. So take, knight h5, rook f1 is probably forced. I think I'll be alright though. We can play rook f1, rook f2, guard the a2 laterally, maybe bishop f1 if necessary. Knight g3 can be met. But he has this, an improvement. Even better than the other move. I have no clue. I let this get completely out of control. But maybe we're good. His king looks pretty bad. My bishops are strong. The sun is coming in, huh? It's really blinding. Could be like a crushing e6. When it's almost mate. Almost doesn't count, right? The famous saying. Knight f4. Okay, let's try some simple solution. This is an absolutely horrendous move. Of course, he finds the defense instantly. I found the only way to make his position like almost okay, or entirely okay. Yes. So it's like he has the ability to play really well positionally at pretty much any moment. And it seems like this is good for me, but how do I make progress now? I have to go back. I have to play ops color bishop ending. Try to beat him on time. Wonderful. No, it's just a draw. Seems awfully strong for 2037. Seen this time and time again. Just a draw. Alright, let me see if we can do anything about this sun situation. That's not much better. That's better. A little bit better, but still not perfect. Getting blinded out by the sun. Let me see if I can correct this a different way. Kind of hard to do this on the fly. Man, that's a disaster. This is a disaster. How is that much light coming in here? It's just hitting the computer at just the right angle. Sorry, guys. Trying to figure out what I can do about it, but it's pretty difficult. Alright, we'll just be low, I guess, for now, until I can fix it a little bit better. You'll have to live with this. The blinding webcam effect. Bombus with another draw, surprisingly. He wiggled off the hook. He's the most underrated player I've seen here. Basically plays like a FIDE master in terms of overall strength, but he's rated 2037 lichess. Speaking of sandbaggers, no, I can fix the window, but I have to like climb up and do it, and I wasn't really prepared to do that here with 25 minutes left in the stream. Something might malfunction and the window like breaks open or something. I need like I need MacGyver. Yeah, I agree, Bob. No, a lot of FMs are 2200-ish, but he's 2037-ish, which is ridiculous, you know? Like, I'm not going to go into it again, but it seems like he purposely drops points or something. I don't know. I actually got a nice advantage there, but the time thing was too difficult. Here we go with this again. I think we had already this variation against the same guy before. Just so solid for white. It's the player who doesn't move pawns, remember? How strange that is? The WFMs are 1750. Dude, it totally depends. I mean, they're handing out WFM like candy. I mean, you could get WFM for winning the under 1300 championship of of, I don't know, you know, like Costa Rica or something. I mean, don't even get me started with FIDE Master titles, because FIDE Master titles used to have a meeting, but they don't anymore. I was speaking of Bombus in the terms of like an old school FIDE Master. The WFM titles, the little kids get WFM for winning a 20-player tournament with 7 other 1300s or something. I mean, it's totally random. I think it's cool that the little kids can get titles, you know, and be motivated, but objectively, this is not, it's not really a relevant title of any kind. No. Mershad did move some pawns finally, but he's dropped the e5 pawn. Playing too fast, again, is the theme of the day today. People want to prove my views about use of time are wrong or something. It's like a sickness. Look, 486 bullet games. This is not going to help your chess to play 1-minute chess. I think you should take your time and play longer games. 5 minutes, 3 minutes at the least. At the minimum, 3 minutes. Just playing chess without thinking doesn't help you get better at the game. He seems inordinately good for 1480. I will say that. Basically gave me a free pawn, but all of his other moves are perfect. How's our stream camera? Sorry about the camera, guys, but we'll get that fixed. I just couldn't fix it right at this moment in mid-stream. Does he play like a 1300 to you? No, I don't think so. A 1480? I don't think so. Mershad is like a 1480 on crack. 1480s make pawn weaknesses, Mershad. The funniest thing is when Danny Wrench has WFM Alexander Botez to analyze GN games. Don't even get me started, man. I mean, I don't do that site. FM Danny Wrench. Apparently he got the IM title somehow. I actually lost to him, but I was drinking heavily and I played like an absolute maniac. I was going totally berserk. I think I was having a bad tournament and I went kind of on tilt. And okay, he's not a bad player. Not great, but not bad. He's good at Blitz. No, I mean, it's cool to get women into chess. But I mean, if they're going to have an analyst for a Grandmaster Games, yeah, I mean, it seems kind of weird to have the 1700 analyzing Grandmaster Games. Okay. Here. You should look up my game with Danny Wrench. I remember that. I went totally ballistic trying to annihilate him with some kind of sacrificial attack. You wouldn't even recognize me the way I played. But it was at the World Open, and I remember clearly that I was totally like angry. I must have lost the previous round or something. This guy's 1480. He's reaching a king and pawn endgame. That's normal. Yeah, Wrench is like a decent, you know, he's a typical Blitz player, basically. Not with my depth, but what can I say? I gave him a free point. So what are we going to do here? Arbitrarily gain space. You're telling me this guy's 1480? My current opponent here? I'm not even 100% sure I can win this position at all. Maybe some study like draw. It's kind of got to be a way to do this. I think I have to actually play f5, f4. But there's something suspicious about this player, seriously. I mean, I know that I'm paranoid, but weird about the way this guy plays for his rating. No, I definitely need to play f5. And maybe king h5 and f4. And then I can do g4 at some moment. And this is the depth I have to go to actually beat this guy. I guess the queen side is pretty irrelevant. You know, thinking about it, I can just walk over to the queen side now. He misplayed the queen side. I don't need to be fancy with f4 and g4 and all that nonsense. I can simply walk over to the queen side. So he really made a mistake finally. Almost to draw down a pawn, but b4 is just a massive blunder. Just losing outright. He just walked back now around the side over here. He basically won the game for me on the queen side. So the thing is, if he didn't do that, I would have to actually play f4, timing it right, and then play g4. And then even play something like f3 as a pawn sacrifice to create an outside passed pawn. Man, that's not easy. The best stories? Sarwan has a long career. Share stories with. What do you mean? Why they have Danny Wrench? Because he like owns chess.com or something. He doesn't own it, but he's the next closest thing. He's the one that helped create it, you know. Why pay someone to do it when you can do it yourself and be famous at the same time? No. That's why, you know. He works for free because he already like owns chess.com basically. It's like a co-owner or something. He's the face of it. Well, they could do better than that, but dude, he like helped create the site. I would assume he has a stake in it. All you have to do is like grab 100,000. I don't know how much they paid. I heard they only paid like $100,000 for the domain, which is nothing, you know, in the grand scheme of things. This is a waste of time. Another player obviously playing too much bullet chess. You should just resign at this point. Alright. So we got 15 minutes left. 1 or 2 games, depending. I can't stand chess.com. The whole site makes me sick. The people that work for it, you know, the way they tolerate cheating. Don't even get me started. The fact that it's only about making money for them, for a few private individuals, is the most sickening thing of it. Alright, so d4, knight f6, knight f3. Yeah, I definitely don't want to make some random guys rich by supporting chess.com. Alright, c4. Let's see. The early bishop a6. This is super early. Aren't all corporations like that? I mean, but we have the same. Yeah, I mean, you can support whatever corporation you want, man. I've been running chess a long time. I don't advocate Internet Chess Club either. There really aren't a lot of good chess sites other than lichess. I can't offer you a good alternative to lichess. Maybe, you know, free chess server, the free Internet Chess server, but they're really limited in what they can do. Yeah, that would be my suggestion, Pin City. But they don't have a lot of resources. They're not as well organized. Blockade. I could go into my story about how I played chess when, back in the day when the free Internet Chess server was first just the Internet Chess server. Then you guys really know how old I am. The sunlight subsided a bit here. "91 viewers, nice stream for today. For a Monday, European morning time. I could have played d5. You think David Pruis used to be? No. David Pruis never worked with chesslecture.com. I never had any interactions with the guy. He seems kind of, I don't know, he seemed a little weird to me, but that's just a totally surface judgment. Everybody's weird. The FICS was founded in 1995, but the Internet Chess server was started by Daniel Slater, who later went on to create, among other people, not just Slater, but he was the main one. He later created Internet Chess Club. But I was playing free chess online circa 1992 at least. It's a terrible blunder. Yeah, d5, but his position is very, very bad. Don't even say those words. There's a lot of bad actors in the online chess world. A lot of bad people. This was a move that I totally blanked on. Alright. Alright, well I didn't play the best, but I'm still winning. Guys got me all revved up with this talk of bad hombres. They're bad hombres. Let's just play f6. Ooh. Alright, Haggard DK is fighting back. He's down 2 pawns and probably lost, but I just totally dropped d7. There's all kinds of interfaces you can use for those, you know, old chess sites. I'm getting tired. I'm a little bit fried. It's martini time. After 2 hours, if you know me. Not literally, but I'm just saying it seems like that's what I've learned over time. That 2.5 hours, 3 hours maximum, and I start getting kind of groggy. Well, that's a guy's name. I have other words for him, but they're not good. A loser who knows nothing about chess, basically. Let's just not give him the file. Chess-sploitation is what I would call it. People who know nothing about chess but exploit chess for money. A lot of those actors out there in the world. Alright, Haggard DK is going down in flames. We're going to play one more game, guys. Of course, there's a lot of people who do know chess and exploit chess. So you get it from both sides there. The knowers and the non-knowers. Anyway, this is my angry stream. Yeah, that's true. Good way to put it in perspective, Bob. Yeah, I mean, you know, you could... It's kind of like comparing, like, you know, people who abuse animals to people who abuse humans. They could be abusing something greater than chess. They just didn't get the opportunity. Alright, let's go with our last game for today. Aspirante Maestro. 7+3. This is kind of a long one. Soltigo, take care. No, Turkey Farm's leaving. Sorry. Soltigo's staying to the bitter end. Alright, Aspirante Maestro with the long challenge. 7+3. Rumajiji tried and failed. You can understand. Tried and failed at what? Dude, Roman... Robin is an old enemy of mine. An old friend and enemy. Roman never had like 2 nickels to scratch together. That was completely John Fanning. Whose nephew would later like create what was it? The file sharing site. Napster. So I like V-necks because they don't make me hot. It's very hot in here. It's a really weird question. Do you like just asking weird questions? Another one of these A3 games, seriously. It's just a coincidence with the V-neck t-shirts, but everywhere I go it seems to be really, really hot. No, the guy who started that chess.net site, they had a good chance with that. But Roman is just, he was just along for the ride. They mismanaged it, though, pretty quickly. I never actually got involved. They had basically messed it up before I even had a chance. Wow, the c4 starts to look kind of problematic for me. No, I have bishop takes c4 in time here. He could sack a pawn with e4, bishop takes c4, e5. Kind of like a very classic. Very classic Nimzo. But it's funny because I did realize I have several of these V-neck t-shirts I wore lately, and the reason is extremely hot in my office here. But I would, I could bust out the tank top if you want. I do that if it gets really extremely hot. No, like normal t-shirt, it's really uncomfortable. It feels like you're choking. I have a problem with that. I don't like, what is it called? I agree with Bob. I'm just too cool for normal t-shirts. I hate the structure so bad. I lost a horrible, horrible game against Gergo Sabo last year. It was 2 years ago. It was a nightmare. Like a bunny. I lost like I had never seen this in my life. I didn't expect him to play the white side of the Nimzo. I thought he was gonna like make me play a Bogo, and I prepared exclusively for that. Then he plays like knight c3. And the guy like plays e4 most of the time. You have to realize like when you play grandmasters and actually all strong players, you prepare for them, but many of them have like multiple openings they can play. Prepared the whole like afternoon or morning for it was morning, for this e4 and for the white side of the Bogo, and the guy like plays the Nimzo, or makes me play the Nimzo. Lost an awful game in this type of structure. Chess.net. No, I'm proud to say that I never. That was pretty bad, man. I mean, Fanning had no idea how to run a business. He had some money, but he'd never really run a business, and Gingy was no help. I mean, Gingy is probably like, he's good at chess, but in anything else, he's more of a hindrance than a help. Now we have a classic position here, which is probably pretty good for me. Roman running a chess site would be like Donald Trump running the country. Just as difficult to work with, and probably just as volatile. Well, it's not been in existence. The site has been out of business for like 20 years or something. Or at least 15, I don't know. More. It's older than that. But they really missed their opportunity, because they could have done it right. Again, I don't want to be political. I'm just making an analogy. People who shouldn't be, running a business or country or whatever, only stating what I believe to be fact. But Roman Gingiashvili is a good chess player, but as a person to work with or try to run a business with, he would be a disaster. This is terrible for white. This is a classic position. It's hard to break through. But see how his pieces are basically... Okay, I mean, well, I should really highlight the bishop on c1, which is destroying the coordination between his rooks. Now, eventually something's got to give here. I don't want to see it take over the world. I just want someone who's competent to be president of the United States. You know, I don't care what party they're from, but I've known Donald Trump since I was 7 years old. If you lived in New Jersey, you know, where he like destroyed Atlantic City when I was a little kid, a lot of people don't realize how long he's been a moron, you know. It's not like a partisan thing, you know. I'm totally neutral to if a Republican or a Democrat was president of the United States. I just want it to be someone who's not an idiot, you know. Queen f7, getting back to the center now. This is probably a mistake. What do we do now? I should have been able to break through by now. I'm going to need to play g5. Yeah, we're going to go into conspiracy theory mode now. But Soltigo can say that for his stream. It'll be the highlight reel. I'm already way out. I'm way out of my usual... Way out of my usual... safe zone. This guy is not the first time he's played like this. Really insane D from bad positions. He had a game off stream like this against me last week where he was black in a Queen's Gambit declined or something, and he's just completely crazy at defending passive positions. That's a very unusual skill to have at this level. When you're like 1700, you really should be, you know, not that used to defending bad positions. But he seems to almost enjoy it. We need to open up a second front. But seriously, I don't want to continue with the political stuff. It's a waste of time. Better things to do. Let's just play c6 and make sure that we can guard the c6 square, not let his queen get in here. He's going to trade queens here. It doesn't really change the state of things. But I will say that I'm stunned as to this player's ability to defend bad positions. With the rating he has at 1700, that's not a normal skill to have at that level. I think a4 might be decisive because I can penetrate here. All right, I asked already that we stop with the political stuff, so I'm going to start timing people out if they don't stop. I wouldn't do that, but I asked already once. So, nothing personal. Just let's stop. I don't want to hear your views about politics. This is a chess stream. I made a comment. Shouldn't have done that. Rook b5. But I wouldn't time him out if I hadn't already asked everybody to stop. Including myself. Alright, we're finally winning material. I'm not going to let politics divide us as well. Here on the chess stream. My rook is sort of trapped outside the structure now. This guy is crazy with the D. I mean, 99% of players around this guy's rating have no clue how to defend at all. And yet that's like the strongest aspect of his game, which is very, very rare. I'm pretty stunned, you know. Alright, this is hard work, man. Now I have to actually win the game again, because I'm going to have to free my rook with something ridiculous like rook a2, giving away a pawn or something like that. No, he just blundered with this, though. That was a strange lapse to play king c1. I was basically kind of paralyzed there. That was a very, very odd lapse for him to have. Basically everything falls now. I've never seen anyone who could love defending so much. It's like endless. Alright, that was a tedious game, guys. I'd move to St. Louis. Yeah, definitely. You've got everything you could possibly want there. That's what I'm hoping for. I'll see you guys later. Anyway, too much politics today. We'll try to keep it out of the future streams for the most part. But it's hard to ignore, you know. The whole world is dominated by politics. We will see you guys later. For myself and the Chess Panda, don't forget that, tomorrow is our viewer Blitz tournament, 6:30 CEST here. Join me. It'll be 5+2 casual. Okay, guys? Thanks. Later. Bye-bye. So from the Chess Panda and I, we will see you tomorrow night, 6:30. It'll be viewer Blitz, Panda Arena version 2. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, Soltigo. See you later, man. Laters.